Newcastle, the heart of the hunter, is pumping gold blood through this sports-mad community. Its stadium may be unfit for a season decider, but it'll be full to overflowing this evening. Hello and welcome to Energy Australia Stadium for the major semi-final first leg clash between Newcastle and the Central Coast. Well, the closest ever Hyundai A-League season has delivered the Mariners the premiership and a place in Asia. But they haven't beaten their F3 foes since the semi-finals in Season 1. It's a 7 derby itch, which Laurie McKenna's men will be desperate to scratch. Newcastle, along with Sydney FC, are the only team to have qualified for each of the final series. And the graph is trending upward for the Jets. 4th in Season 1, 3rd in Season 2 and 2nd this time around. This time last season they fell at the final hurdle, and now they have the chance to go one better and grab a grand final spot. Well, joining me to preview what will be a mighty clash, as always, Mike Cockrell, great to see you. And one of the stories that hasn't been spoken of much is the fact that we've got two regional cities, the only two in the competition, who finished first and second. It's a great story.
It's a great story, and an absolutely fantastic story. I think it's a testament to the equalisation of talent we get through the salary cap. Of course, we know Newcastle has a history of producing great players. It's never produced a championship team. And the Central Coast Mariners, we didn't know much about them 4 years ago. And look what they've done in the last 3 years. So it's a fantastic testament to both clubs, a fantastic rivalry, which I'd love to see just grow and grow, and I think it will.
Well, semi-finals and derbies are all about the footballers that take the field. For all the news on the teams, let's go to the sideline. It's good afternoon to Brenton Speed.
Yes, thanks, Tarps, and dare I say it, a grand final-like atmosphere with a sellout crowd of 26,000 winding their way through the gates over the past 2 hours or so. It was a warm afternoon, but the breeze has really whipped up in the last hour and will favour the team attacking the goal to the right of screen. But let's check on the team news. And the Jets welcome back Adam Griffiths from a 2-game suspension, and he'll play alongside Stu Michalek in a holding midfield role with the Ollie Roo back to peak health. Jason Hoffman and Noel Spencer drop out of the 11, which started against Perth last weekend. The Mariners make just one change to the team which clinched the Premier's plate with that win over Wellington, with Sasho Petrovski replacing Matt Simon. He'll partner John Aloisi up front, who's shaken off a knee problem, to take his spot. So very similar conditions to those which greeted these two teams back in round 14 when it finished 0-0. But surely the first goals in this year's final series are on their way tonight.
3 games have been played between the Jets and the Mariners. They've been pretty fiery, and only 1 goal has separated them all season.
Well, the Mariners could be 5 points clear if they can win this one. The Jets, of course, have never won in Gosford, but omens mean little come kick-off time. Joel Griffiths will not get the free kick. Horry has it. Petrovski waits far side. Petrovski! Oh! That's a great ball, though. Bridge! Good stop with the leg of Danny Vukovic. Now Joel Griffiths, will his pace get in there ahead of Vukovic? He does. Vukovic brings him down. Now there's an angry exchange. Pondelyak races away. Pondelyak tries to place it. What a goal! Tom Pondelyak! Whipped it in with the left boot. Here's Joel Griffiths. Mark Bridge lashes it in, and the Newcastle Jets are all square. Here's Hoffman. Hoffman still. Hoffman hits the post. Denny couldn't keep it down.
Early return. Does fall for James Holland. Holland! The Jets in front. Well, Clark has left the back pass short. Griffiths rounds the goalkeeper, but Vukovic did just enough. Kwasnik. Adam Kwasnik squares it up. What a response from the Central Coast. Vukovic spreads himself well. He's keeping the Mariners in this game. Great ball there from Durante. Griffiths. Joel Griffiths doesn't miss from there. The Jets in front again. Gilchrist's cross. Chance here. What a save from Kovic. And Newcastle Jets are in the finals for the 3rd season in a row.
Well, 2 draws and a win for Newcastle in the 3 games this season, and off the history between the two teams, you can see it's very, very even. The Jets have the edge as far as winning football matches is concerned, but not a lot of goals over the course of the A-League have separated the Jets from the Mariners. Just one to the advantage of the home team tonight. Plenty of cards dish out too in this F3 derby throughout the days and years so far. Well, time to go for a break. As we do, the big talking point this week was where to host the grand final. FFA has decided it's going to be in Sydney and not in Newcastle. That is if, of course, the Jets get here first. As we go to the break, let's catch up with the fans and see what they think about that decision.
In Sydney, but people up here, it's probably a problem for them.
Should be here. I mean, the fans want it here.
I can understand the reasons for it because of the crowd, etc., and the facilities here aren't good enough to cater for it.
It being in the major semi-final, and if you win it, the whole point is to get the rights to the grand final.
Like I said, I'd rather see people get the bums on the seats and everyone get to see the game.
If they'd said at the beginning of the year that was what was on, fair enough. But to spring it in the last couple of weeks, I think is really bad press.
Oh, look, if they get 60,000 people there, it'll be worthwhile. It's going to be good, But let's hope it's Newcastle and the Mariners.
Started off with a bang, didn't they? They're a very direct team. They've got a tremendous will, good unity between their teammates, great work ethic on the pitch. And that never die attitude, and I think they're going to be extremely beat because now it becomes very similar to cup football, and that type of work ethic and closeness is something which sometimes does get you over the line.
They're very attacking minded. The second goal against Perth Glory the other night was all one-touch football, and looking forward to two great games and just a great spectacle for the league.
Touched by Joel Griffiths, Dafuzzo, that's the ball through, Bridges away, 1-on-1, what a finish! 2-1 Newcastle, and Mark Bridges' goal drought is over.
I honestly think the best team won the title. I think they've got so many good players in their team that can really punish you. It's going to be a tough game, we know what a derby's like. We've got two legs. And it'll be a real cat and mouse between the two managers.
They're not a one-man team. They've got a lot of quality players across the park. I mean, their defence is quite strong, and also Stewie Michalek in midfield's a great player. I mean, he makes them tick as well, the way he keeps the ball and his passing. So, they're a tough team, but I'm more than confident that if we play well, we can beat them and qualify for that grand final.
Well, the grand final is, of course, what it's all about. A lot of mutual respect between the two teams, Newcastle and Central Coast. Kick-off just over 20 minutes away. Well, he's done a great job since taking over from Nick Theodorakopoulos. I'm talking, of course, about Gary Van Egmond, the Jets coach. He's with Brenton Speed.
Well, Gary, Adam Griffiths and Stu Michalek, two big inclusions for a final.
Yeah, no, look, they've obviously done well this year, and Adam's got recognition in the Australian team as Stewie has, and big-time players and a big-time occasion, and we feel that it's the best way to go this day.
And you signed Song Jin Hyung during the week, the South Korean, just couldn't get the clearance through in time to get him in the mix tonight?
Yeah, unfortunately the visa has taken a little bit more time than we anticipated, so that'll come through next week, and he'll be fine from then on.
He's a pretty hot player?
Look, he's obviously a player with real qualities, and he's played at the Under-20 World Cup just recently, and plays in that attacking third, and we think he's a good pickup.
No clean sheet in the last 6 games. How important to keep a clean sheet in leg 1 of the finals?
Look, the most important thing for us is to win, and we want to ensure that we win the game. Yes, we'd like to ensure that we don't concede tonight, but at the same token, we don't want that to inhibit our forward play, our forward-going play, and ensure that we've got to score goals and create opportunities. So we'll definitely look to attack.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Jets boss Gary Van Egmond there, Mike. He served a 6-year apprenticeship here at Newcastle before he was given the top job. His team really is moulded around a possession style, of course. There's been a bit of talk about that in the paper as well today, Jade North having a shot at the Central Coast. But let's have a look now at the statistic that I guess supports the notion that Newcastle do intend to play a very constructive style of football. Completed pass stat, well, they're top of the pops. Sydney FC just behind them, although you might be forgiven for shaking your head at that stat after watching Friday night's match. And the Central Coast Mariners sitting second from bottom in this particular stat. And as we said, in the Sunday press today, Jade North whilst trying his best not to give them a free kick, the Mariners. He did say they don't play very attractive football and certainly don't pass the ball well.
Well, Jade North, funnily enough, he's the captain, but he doesn't say much as a rule. Obviously, he's got a bee in his bonnet this week. He's feeling the tension of the local derby in the big game of the season. They call Gary Van Egmond Dutchie, that's what his nickname is, and I think there's a bit of Dutch element about the way he coaches the team as well. It's sort of predictable in some ways. You know the ball's going to go into the holding midfield and then go wide again. It's a pattern which has served the Jets well, though. It does create the openings for Joel Griffiths, who of course at the moment is scoring for fun, which is a fantastic outlet. That's the difference to me between Newcastle and the other teams in this competition. They have a goal scorer, an out-and-out goal scorer who's in red-hot form.
Well, Newcastle, it has been a fantastic season for them. They finished second, and here's their coach and their star player, Joel Griffiths, on their season's highlights. We'll be back right after this.
The game against Melbourne, where we won 3-1 down there, being a goal down. We were renowned for never coming back and winning a game, going a goal down. And we came back and won that game 3-1. And I think since then, the boys have really concentrated and applied themselves really well to their football. And I think they started to believe then that they really have got a good chance of winning this.
You know, probably the highlight would be the Golden Boot, which I just found out yesterday after the Queensland Royal game. Hasn't really sunk in because, you know, there's a lot going on with the Socceroos and obviously the finals and that, but I'm sure when the season's done and dusted, I'll reflect back on it.
The Novocastrian public are pretty well informed as well. It's a football hotland, if you like. A lot of expats have settled in Newcastle. A lot of people know a great deal about the game. The game is extremely popular at the grassroots level, and you know, that coinciding with the fact that we do a good job in the community with going to schools and shopping centres and what have you as far as the promotional stuff, which is another thing the boys have to be commended from. It's setting ourselves up as being a really well-supported franchise.
They are fantastic fans, the Newcastle fans. They come from a very rich and deep seam of football history and tradition in this wonderful sporting city, right in the heart of the Hunter Valley. And their team has been doing wonderful things for them since the start of the A-League, and they are just growing in momentum as the time passes. Well, one player amongst their hero of players has been giving them particular reason for joy this year. That's Joel Griffiths.
Joel Griffiths has found the top corner. Simply brilliant. Joel Griffiths slides it home, and it's 3 points for the Newcastle Jets.
The goals I scored this year were very important goals, and you know, it's just you know, I worked pretty hard in the off-season, and you know, I'm reaping the rewards now.
Spencer plays it into the channel. Griffiths slides in. Joel Griffiths, what a piece of opportunism. Good centre too. Joel Griffiths! Oh, that could have won it for the Jets!
In games where they've struggled a wee bit, Joel's always popped up a goal and then got that momentum. Like the result down in Melbourne a few weeks ago when they were down 1-0 and Melbourne were cruising. You know, they came back into that game and deservedly went on and won it.
Oh, why not? Joel Griffiths with an absolute beauty. Elrich finds Joel Griffiths. This could win it for the Jets. 2 for Joel Griffiths, 3 for the Jets.
I think Joel Griffiths is obviously the standout for us in regards to goal scoring and the way he goes about his work as well. He's really typified the work ethic and what's needed as far as being a successful player, and especially at training. He trains the same ways that he plays. So the younger players coming through really do get inspired by him.
He scored a goal when we played them last week. And he's now 11, 12 goals in the season. So look, he's on fire, and you have to watch him.
The most dangerous player in the league. It's Joel Griffiths, and you leave him free at your own peril. What a fabulous season, Mike Cockrell. Joel Griffiths is 28. Now, I guess you could say he's been a little bit of a late developer, but from 28 for the next 4 or 5 years, you can really see him becoming a force to be reckoned with. This is just a window to better things, surely.
Joel Griffiths is the sort of player we want coming back from Europe. He's come back at a good age. He's come back after struggling in Europe. Let's be brutally honest about it. Didn't have an impact over there. Decided to come back and re-energise his career. 2 years into the A-League and how things have turned around. He's back in the national team. He's going to go to Japan and have a short-term spell as well, just to keep the engine ticking over. As he said in that interview, his goals have been important ones as well. He had to step up this year. This time last year we had the likes of Nicky Carlo there, Milton Rodriguez, Paul Ocon, Vaughan Coveney, all of them leaders. They've all gone, and the senior players, of which Joel is now one, had to step up to the plate, and he's done it.
Well, they have been disappointing for the Central Coast Mariners, but they did enough to be top of the table after 21 rounds, albeit on goal difference. There's a huge contingent of yellow shirts who've made the hour-plus trip up the F3 from Gosford to Newcastle, but they have been confronted by a wall of Jets fans. This place is jumping, this joint is rocking. Kickoff is not far away. The countdown to the A-League's big day is underway. The first step to the grand final will take place in just a few moments. Will it be the Central Coast or Newcastle who strike the first blow? We'll find out right after this.
The Mariners successfully navigated their way through troubled waters to lift the prize of the Premier's plate. Despite Joel's goals, the Jets leaving their run just too late. But it all starts again in the biggest F3 derby of them all. And while the grand final will be going to Sydney, it's one of these two teams who'll be first to the ball. Finals football continues here on Fox. It's the first leg of the major semi-final. Local rivalry has never been so intense. The Jets host the Mariners and the house full sign is up on a summery evening here at the Energy Australia Stadium. Well, the Mariners haven't beaten the Jets in 2 years. The last time they did so was at this ground. The last time these two teams met in a finals match. Is that a good omen for the team from the Central Coast? Well, let's check those lineups now, and two key players are back for the Jets at just the right time. Stewie Mushalik has looked energetic enough at training to earn a recall while Adam Griffiths returns from suspension. They'll form the defensive wall in midfield. Otherwise, it's business as usual. Andrew Durante has overcome fears about his fitness to take his place in an unchanged back four. Troy Herefield keeps his spot at the expense of Noel Spencer, while all eyes will be on Joel Griffiths, the gold-shirted Golden Boot, whose 12 goals have defined Newcastle's season. Well, having survived his yellow peril, Sash Petrovski is back in harness alongside John Aloisi. It's the only change to the side which last week won the game and the minor premiership. Matt Simon returns to the bench. The first clean sheet in 7 weeks means Laurie McKinnon sticks with the same back four. Tom Pondelliak and John Hutchinson have overcome injury scares to take their place in a four-man midfield. Well, the Jet on the rise is determined to stay grounded. James Holland has the right name to make a splash for the Socceroos, but right now he's hoping to sink the Mariners again. Welcome back to a jam-packed Energy Australia Stadium. The first leg of the major semi-final about to get underway. Well, Jay North has stoked the fires of the F3 rivalry all week. Tonight, the Jet skipper has to keep an eye on a former clubmate and a future Socceroos teammate, and rarely has Tommy Pondelliak been in such good form. The referee is Matthew Breeze. We're good to go. The pitch in perfect condition. A warm evening here in the Hunter Valley. They called it the hottest ticket in town, where some of these fans have been waiting 2 hours for the kickoff. The game is now underway. The Jets against the Mariners. The biggest F3 derby of all. Long ball forward immediately from the team which insists it plays the short passing game. Griffiths reels it in. Bridge. The switch of play. The shot from Herefield was on target. Encouraging start for Newcastle. Here's Troy Herefield, taking a slight deflection off Morgan Shekeli. North in the back of Petrovski. Well, Andy Harper, a real sight for sore eyes. A full house here at Energy Australia Stadium. That's been a point of discussion all week. The FFA deciding this ground not fit to host a grand final, but it's a pretty good sight in this major semi, isn't it?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mike. This is a brilliant scene. Beautiful day here in Newcastle, not a cloud in the sky, thankfully for the players. There is a nor'easter blowing off the Pacific Ocean, which will cool them down significantly. And this crowd that has gathered, what a picture and what a testament to the A-League. It's brilliant stuff, and let's hope now that the game matches what the fans have dished up so far.
Thompson has the throw. These conditions will take something out of the players in the first half at least. Still very warm. Durante's missed his touch. Falls for Pontiac. Important challenge from North.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about the players in both teams, but Tom Ponduliak's re-emergence in the closing stages of the season, I think, provides the Central Coast with a real edge out of midfield. We just saw a glimpse of it then.
There'll be some early nerves, particularly among the least experienced players, not counting, of course, Aloisi. Looks to free up Petrovski. Derek Garage has done well. There's new Charlotte back in that starting 11. Number 5 for Newcastle. One of 7 Newcastle players who will go into camp in Melbourne tomorrow with the Socceroos. A lot of people talk about what the Jets have done wrong. Well, what about their recruiting? They've done that pretty right when you're getting 7 players in the Socceroos squad.
Well, they've got the best of the Aussies available. According to that statistic, I think Van Egmond puts his hand up for their overseas recruiting. That's let them down this season. But they've made the finals every year. Only Sydney FC can boast the same claim. But there is still work to be done off the field with Newcastle Jets. No one shies away from that.
Thompson. It's a good contest with Kwasnick. Not used to seeing Kwasnick that deep in his own half of the field. There was a late challenge on Aloisi coming from Mushalik. John Aloisi has hardly trained this week. He's got a nagging problem with his knee. Rory McKinnon suggesting he's good for about 60 minutes. The Socceroos target man. 60 minutes from Aloisi is usually good enough. Here he is, under the high ball. Kwasnick looking for Petrovski. And there's a real mix-up in that Jets defence. Petrovski tries to square it up. Here's Podolyak. Now Hutchinson. Switch of play from Pontiac. On had picked up Kwasnick. To get away from Thompson. North's made another mistake. They look a bit nervy, those Newcastle defenders. Here's Charlotte. Bridge, was he taken out late? That's the way the referee saw it. Ville Jedinak, the culprit.
A breakdown in communication there too. He had cover, Jedinak. The arm, the dragging arm was the point at fault, but it was Burgard getting plenty of cover. Breakdown in communication for the Mariners.
And it comes straight down the throat of Vukovic. Pretty happy to get that sort of touch early in the game. Good release as well from the goalkeeper. Bright start to this match. Very open game. Didn't see a goal, of course, in the minor semi-final first leg on Friday night. Mark Reed looking across the line, sensing the worst. It came. The flag was up.
Well, good signs early. 5 minutes in, I reckon we've already had more open play than we did in the F3 derby here in front of a good gallery earlier in the season, but it finished in a rather drab draw and the fans left disappointed, but no sign of that early stages this evening. A very bright start, so much at stake.
Here's Alvin Checkley, Adelaide United bound at the end of the season. Just poked forward by Hutchinson, hitting hope really. headlines over the last week, that FFA decision about the grand final. Newcastle feel particularly aggrieved, less so Mariners. Before we close the subject, what's your view, Andy?
Well, the first point is, I think, parochialism aside, everyone can understand the other side of the argument, whichever way you go. Thereafter, it's purely the decision between commercial and sporting reasons. I vote sporting reasons because I believe by building bigger sport you have more commerce down the track, but no beef with the FFA's ultimate decision. You can completely understand why they've done what they've done. I feel for the Newcastle fans. All season they're here supporting their team. They want a challenge for the title on home turf, but of course there's a long way to go before they can even really have that argument. 2 games of semi-final football. Not a lot separating either team. This is going to go right down to the wire, as they say in the classics.
Might even be a black cloud to that, a silver lining, I should say, to that black cloud, of course, if it does prompt the government to finally spend the money that it should on this stadium. Jedinak. Here's Hutchinson. Aloisi draws the foul.
It's a rather soft one from Andrew Durante. Aloisi going nowhere. Probably better off just backing off early stages not to attract too much attention from the referee.
Tarek Elrich has done well there against Chekaley. It's been a real sharp learning curve for Elrich in that right fullback position. He's done very, very well in adapting to a new role. One of the big improvers of this season. Here's the long throw routine from Chekaley. Petrovski turns away from North. Ante Kovic was alert and had to be.
And a good first touch for Ante Kovic. His defence has been a little shaky in the opening 8 minutes. But you look at both ends of the field for Newcastle, they've got the informed goalkeeper and the star of the season. 2 very good planks on which to build an assault on the title.
And Joel Griffiths just nudged to the ground by Bugard. And a bit of discussion between the 2 players.
Of course, Nige Bugard effectively playing in front of his home gallery. Newcastle, born and bred. How he slipped through the Jets recruitment remains to be seen. That's a story not properly told, but he's very settled at the Mariners, doing a great job, if in fact he has transgressed on this occasion. It's a long distance out. He wouldn't back against Joel Griffiths, the sort of form he's in at the moment.
The Mariners have re-signed Nigel Bugard. They're also close to re-signing Matt Simon. And of course Miller Jedinak is the one they really want to keep. And those talks, we're told, are progressing pretty well. Joel Griffiths with a free kick. In fact, it's Holland, I should say. It was on target. It was Holland, I should say. The young man with plenty of ability. It's Griffiths. I got it right the first time.
Always go with your instinct. Always go with your stomach, Michael.
He scored from similar range, of course, against Melbourne Victory. Hutchinson. There's a new string to Joel Griffiths' bow, isn't it? Free kicks from outside the area. Another part of his game I'm sure he's been working on during the off-season.
He has scored a couple of beauties, and quite understandable that you should drop James Holland's name in there as well, because from nowhere he's come to assume enormous responsibility for the Jets and set pieces. What a start he's made to his professional football career. Time will be his biggest test, of course, but he wouldn't wind back the last 6 months for anything, you'd imagine.
Here's Bridge. Comes inside Bugard, now Mushalik. It's going a little bit more cagey now after that fairly open beginning. Petrovski's left it behind Pondylyak. Challenge was late from Jedinak. Stu Mushalik. Well, Miller Jedinak, I touched on him. He knocked back a 3-year deal from the Mariners at the start of the season. He backed himself in, and all the indications are he's going to get a pretty healthy pay rise now from the Mariners, Miller Jedinak. Thompson. Here's Bridge. He comes inside. Important covering tackle from Nigel Boogaard just as Mark Bridge was about to pull the trigger.
Well, that's better teamwork from the Central Coast. Alex Wilkinson beaten in the first instance, but there's no huge drama there. Mark Bridge, a very wriggly customer in tight areas, and Boogaard read the situation beautifully. Did concede the corner, but could have been much worse for Central Coast.
Corner swung in, away by Vidmar. Near post delivery, defended it well in Central Coast. Was Michalek taken late? I should say, was that a late tackle from Michalek? Referee allows play to continue. Good work from Matthew Breeze. It's Kwasnik on the receiving end.
Just wonder if Matthew Breeze won't store that one away, because that was late and cynical from Stu Michalek. The Coast were flying.
Aloisi, well, he's playing his Jets defenders off a break, isn't he, John Aloisi? Getting in front, getting the free kicks. Will he be the marquee player for the Mariners next season? That's the word.
Certainly their intent, whether or not they can the requisite argument for Aloisi.
Do you mean the requisite dollars?
It's normally the way arguments run in this game.
Kwasnik has Boogaard outside, drives it diagonally towards Petrovski. The header from Petrovski. Kovic was scrambling and might have come off his own defender. An anxious moment there for Newcastle.
Well, it's Andrew Durante or Jade North. I've got a touch of your wobbles there, Mike. But this is brilliant, brilliant defending. That's a good header from Petrovski. Kovic beaten, and that's bravery from Jade North. Technique, commitment, but above all in that situation, bravery. Leading from the front, the Jets captain.
Corner for the Mariners. Here, post from Pontiac. Just a touch there from Wilkinson. Well, that's as close as a team has come to scoring a goal in this game. Cleared off the line by Jade North. He's renowned for scoring goals, but he's also renowned for his work rate, Joel Griffiths. Does not give defenders a moment's peace. Boogaard's free kick. Flicked on by Petrovski. Durante leaves it for Elrich. Jedinak gets a square run from Vidmar. First time he's released himself into midfield. The oldest player, of course, in the Hyundai A-League. Aloisi, one touch too many. But again, Newcastle not really clearing the lines. Hutchinson, the Mariners building some pressure here. Petrovski's done ever so well. Jedinak's shot blocked by Durante. Now starting to look the team most likely, the Mariners. Good pressure. Hutchinson's throw. Flicked on by Jedinak. Aloisi turns, can't get the shot away. Hacked away by Michalek. Mariners fans in that far corner making the noise at the moment. Wilkinson. Again, that diagonal ball. Aloisi. It's 1 against 2. It's away from the first man, but the cover was there from Andrew Durante, who has been under an injury cloud going into this match. His clearance only finds its way to Checkley, who swings in a huge cross. A dipping ball from Checkley, and Thompson had to watch it and clear it to safety.
Well, they're under enormous pressure, Newcastle. The Central Coast playing really, really good football. And this hung up in that nor'easter that's blowing off Nobby's headland. Alvin Checkley has slung the ball high and deep and asked the elements to do the business for him. Put enormous pressure on Matthew Thompson, who was up to the task.
Hutchinson's corner, dangerous one. Flicked on at the near post by Wilkinson. And a chance for Newcastle to get some relief. The pressure has been relentless in these last 5 minutes from the Mariners. Now packed them in here, haven't they, at the Energy Australia Stadium? Surely this is a record home crowd for the Jets. Any vantage point will do. Plenty of travelling fans as well, made their way up the F3. Mariners suggesting they've got 3,000 or 4,000 supporters here. Not all of them wearing their colours. Michalek. Idea was right from Adam Griffiths. Quite the execution though. Jedinak. Hutchinson. Early ball from Hutchinson. Towards the halfway by Matt Thompson.
Well, Central Coast at the moment are working the ball off the point of their own attack immaculately. If it's not Petrovski, it's John Aloisi who is giving a first outlet and a forward pass and bouncing the ball off that man to Jedinak or Pondolyak, and they're away to Central Coast. It's been a really impressive 5 or 10 minute period for the away team. They're battering Newcastle at the moment.
In from Bugard. Dangerous ball. Adam Griffiths caught in 2 binds. That could so easily have been an own goal. They're hanging on, Newcastle. And Gary Van Egmond senses that something has to be done.
Mile Jedinak inexplicably on his heels for that one. It was a good chance to attack the ball. Griffiths obviously was in 2 minds and not at all convinced about what he needed to do. Mile Jedinak just backed off. The pressure relieved. Corner for the Coast.
In from Pondolyak. Another corner. The blowtorch is being applied. 4 corners to 2 for the Central Coast. They've been pretty good deliveries as well. Flicked on by Wilkinson. It's the 2nd time in a row he's had that opportunity. He just hasn't got the right connection.
Well, he's not a natural goal scorer, Alex Wilkinson. He's led the team well, had an injury-plagued season. And he dreams of big things this season as the captain of the Mariners. 2 chances on the near post. 14 times the Mariners have penetrated that part of the field, and the Jets have looked none too convincing.
58 games, no goals. Alex Wilkinson. His attributes are better served at the other end of the park. Harefield. And there's a corner for Newcastle. Might bring the crowd, the home fans at least, back into this game. They've been silent. These Jets supporters.
That is a great scene for the A-League. Packed, absolutely packed Energy Australia. And a good bit of football fare for 20 minutes.
Holland's corner. Goes deep. There's an arm wrestle. Won by Hutchinson. Holland gets it back. He has time and space. A flat delivery. The header on target. The Jets take the lead. Adam Griffiths. That is the sucker punch.
Well, the squadron's taken off. The whole stadium is rocking to the noise of a crowd that is celebrating. The team, the home team that has gone ahead a goal to nil against the run of play, you'd have to say. And one of their season's best, Mile Jedinek, beaten on the near post. That is a header of clinical execution. And this is a ball of immaculate precision from James Holland. Newcastle to the lead, and what a beautiful way to do it.
Superb header from Adam Griffiths. And the Jets will feel they might have weathered that early storm. And what a storm it was. But it's the scoreboard which counts. And at the moment, it's good reading for the Newcastle Jets and their fans. And the noise level, not surprisingly, has gone up a decibel or two. Clips it over the top. Some hesitation. Almost fatal from Vukovic. Alex Wilkinson not sure whether to go for that ball. Michalek. They have been the bogey team for the Mariners, haven't they, Newcastle? And that run, for the moment, has continued. Bridge late. His challenge on Bugard.
There's a lot of experienced heads in the Central Coast team, and they'll need to corral all that experience in the next little while to steady the ship. They started so well, had all the pressure on Newcastle's goal, and in the blink of an eye are now chasing the game. Vidmar, Aloisi, two of the best and most experienced. Chekuli, Petrovsky know their way around successful championships.
Jedinek again with a challenge. Holland on the receiving end. It's willing, as you would expect and hope for in a game of this importance. Holland taken out by Chekuli this time. And at the moment, and for the moment, Matthew Breeze keeping those cards in the top pocket.
Central Coast again, as we've said a number of times this season, defending very high up the field. They got stung badly against Melbourne New Year's Eve. Two pacey strikers in Allsop and Thompson ripped the Coast to pieces. And again, it's a very, very, very tight line against someone like Joel Griffiths, who works the defensive line better than anyone in the league at the moment. It's a very, very dangerous practice for the Coast, but it's one they persist on.
One clean sheet in 7 games. And again, they haven't been able to keep their goal line intact. It's been the problem area for the Central Coast as they got the wobbles over that New Year period. They did just enough, of course, to get that all-important victory against Wellington Phoenix. Enough to claim the minor premiership, but only on goal difference ahead of the Newcastle Jets. That's how fine the line is between these two teams. Knocked down from Aloisi. North, high foot, penalty. He took his time, Matthew Breeze. The foot was raised from Jade North. And it's a penalty for the Mariners.
Well, it's high foot and high drama here at Energy Australia. And you really can't have any complaints, Jade North. Any other part of the field, that should be a free kick. No difference in the penalty area. Petrovsky attacks. The big size 10 is head height. And Matthew Breeze takes a millisecond to absorb the situation and award the penalty.
Well, North will claim there wasn't a lot of contact. The referee's view, though, was unimpeded. And the Mariners have a spot kick. And the most famous penalty taker in Australian football will take it. Has missed a penalty. Can you believe it?
Well, you've never seen so many Australians happy at John Aloisi missing a penalty. To his favoured right he went. Kovic misread it. And Aloisi has missed the target from 10 yards.
Dramatic. Now Herefield, away by Wilkinson. Griffiths is onside. Free header! Easier than the last for Adam Griffiths. This time he didn't hit the target. End to end. And what a major semi-final we've had already.
And this is the story of the game. The Mariners miss one up the other end, and Newcastle spring to life. Joel Griffiths to his twin brother Adam. And wouldn't Adam Griffiths love a repeat dose of the goal that has separated the teams? Fabulous semi-final building, as if the anticipation wasn't enough.
Well, he's missed the easy one and scored the hard one, Adam Griffiths. Could so easily have been 2-0 to the Jets. Herefield. Well, that's come on Checkerley. 3 goals this season, Adam Griffiths. He's just come back from a 2-game suspension. The most important goal he scored this season. Holland's corner. Near post. Klosnik away. A real test of nerve, a real test of character now for the Central Coast. Bridge comes inside Buga with ease. Dangerous delivery as well. Very important clearing header from Tony Vidmar. Well, at the moment, I would suggest that Mark Bridge has the wood on Nigel Bugard. It's 2 or 3 times now he's turned inside him. Got a precious metre, Laurie McKenna. Be wondering how his team didn't score in that opening 10-15 minutes, and they were in control. How important will that goal line clearance by Jade North turn out to be?
Well, not nearly as important as the Aloisi penalty miss. Would have given the Central Coast at least what they deserve in balance in the opening half hour, but Newcastle energised by the slice of luck they've received and by their own good finishing. Momentum swung the way of the home team. Somehow they weathered the storm, and now they're looking far more formidable.
The Jets midfield certainly starting to find its feet. More effective passes than any club in this competition, Newcastle. Checkerley's header. Crunching tackle by North on Petrovski. It's a physical contest. Front two of the Central Coast, Sash Petrovski and John Aloisi edged it in the first 15-20 minutes. It looks as though Newcastle started to get to grips with them. You might describe both Aloisi and Petrovski as old-fashioned centre forwards. Very robust and strong in the air. Griffiths. Clever switch. Here's Bridge. He cuts inside. Bridge on target. His best mate, Danny Vukovic. Well positioned though. Just took his eyes off the ball. Mark Bridge, Sydney FC bound.
Bridge was isolated beautifully here by the crossfield switch. Joel Griffiths and Nigel Burgard. He's not naturally a right fullback. He's got a dickens of a time trying to contain Mark Bridge. Particularly this afternoon, Vukovic needed to be safe and strong.
Hutchinson's turned it over. Herefield. Shouldered away from it by Checkerley, who used his body well.
Tommy Ponduliak, I mentioned him at the top of the game for Central Coast to get the ascendancy again in midfield, the key part of the field. Ponduliak really has to re-emerge now. His closing period of the season, very impressive, but in this game with his team under the pump, very important. Ponduliak finds his best and quickly.
Thompson's got away from Kwasnik. Can't get the better though of Nigel Burgard. And there was a little bit of afters. I'm not sure there was any intent there. Thompson's fired up about it as he was sent into the advertising boards. Burgard quick to apologise though. Corner Newcastle. Good delivery, Vukovic. In the end, under no pressure. Just needed the slightest of touches, and that might so easily have been a goal. Very impressive, Newcastle's corner taking in this game. We're quick to criticise. We should praise on this occasion the delivery from their set pieces. Charlotte, the most effective tackles of any player in the competition, but not on this occasion. Kwasnik, quick switch, picks out Hutchinson. Petrovski, clever ball inside. There's not a lot of room for Alot to move. The back pass was a hot one from Durante. Kovic did well in the circumstances. Space now for Pontiac. Newcastle slow to react. Petrovski. It's pretty warm here in Newcastle, but the tempo and the pace of this game has been very high right from the start, very entertaining. At the moment, the Jets shading possession of the ball. It's reversed since the first 10 minutes of the game. Shows you how the pendulum has swung. Vidmar. And Tony Vidmar just getting it all wrong. Rory McKenna a bit frustrated the way that the wheels have fallen off a little bit in the last 10 to 15 minutes. It was all looking so good. Bridge was wriggled away again. He's having a fine match. Mark Bridge. He may be Sydney FC bound, but he knows he's still got a job to do for the Newcastle Jets. Elrich, advantage played by Breeze, the referee. But it came to naught. There's Aloisi with the challenge. He's let it flow. Matthew Breeze. good contest, isn't it? North against Petrovski. No quarter given nor asked. Pontiac with a switch. Kwasnik. There's Jedinak. Somehow gets across him, Mila Jedinak.
That's better from the Central Coast. Mila Jedinak venturing deep down the right. His cross obviously came unstuck and the attack came to nothing, but it's about getting consecutive passes together for the Central Coast, getting them back into the equation. Revisiting the form that set them up so well at the start of the match.
Thompson launches it 50 metres up the park. Does find the head of Joel Griffiths. He plays as a lone striker in front of three supporting midfielders. Nearfield, Holland, and Bridge. Mariners with a classic 4-4-2. Stretch, didn't he, Tony Vidmar? Vidmar, percentage ball into the channel. Owisi will try and chase it down. This time North does well initially. It breaks for Petrovski. Cuts back under the right boot. And a corner in the circumstances, a pretty good outcome for Newcastle. They were opened up there.
Yeah, the numbers recovered well for Newcastle. They needed to. Perhaps Petrovski just a little slow on the uptake once he'd made the incursion. But that's to take the credit away from the Jets defenders, who have now to defend their fifth corner.
They've got height. The likes of Jedinak and Petrovski, Bugard. Owisi on the line. It's played to the edge of the box. No one's picked up Hutchinson. John Hutchinson! And Kovic tips it over. Saw it late, the goalkeeper. Rehearsed move from the Mariners almost paid off.
Another good variation. Pontiac right on the money with the pass. Kovic pretty comfortably in the end, although shouldn't underestimate the effect of that sun, which will be straight in his face, as Hutchinson shot that with a little bit of swerve as well.
Another corner for the Mariners. Pontiac goes near post. Off Aloisi's head.
They don't look at all comfortable defending these corners to Newcastle, and that's testament to the quality that is coming from Central Coast. Plenty of swirl, plenty of direction in the taking. It's not hit and hope.
Not sure if Pontiac wants to take this corner. No, he wants to get across there. Play it short. It comes in from Hutchinson. Kovic with a fist. Important contact from the keeper. Good contact as well. Petrovski's been a handful. Takes the shot. Saw Kovic just off his line, and that was enough incentive for Sash Petrovski.
Well, the good part about this action, it does show that Sash Petrovski is eager and hungry and intent on scoring. The bad part about that action was the woeful option that Petrovski took. That's such a low percentage effort when he had players queuing up in support.
Pontiac. Aloisi left it, hoping it would find its way through to Hutchinson. Down Bridge. This time he's not going to get the better of Bugard. 5 minutes plus stoppages left in this first half of football. The first leg of the major semi-final. It's a Griffiths goal which separates the two teams, but it's not Joel, it's his brother. Mistake from Mushalik. He turns it over. Petrovski works it onto the right boot. Has he taken too long? Yes, he has.
He's got to look to link up with his teammates, not isolate himself. And again, the heart was willing, the execution and the thinking just let him down a little bit, Sash. Kim Verbeek, Robert Barn there taking notes on what has been an enthralling 40 minutes.
He wasn't too complimentary about the standard of the Hyundai A-League last week, Pim Verbeek. You find hard to get a lot of complaint about the quality of this game, which does feature 10 of the players that he has selected in his squad. Gary Van Egmond, by the looks of things, might have to make a change. Free kick. Mushalik almost caught the Mariners napping, just clearing the frame of the goal.
And here's a change coming up for Newcastle. Stu Mushalik, let's rip. Look at the swerve on this again. Vukovic, his Olyroot teammate, young Socceroo teammate, had to watch that nervously over the crossbar. This must be an injury in force change. Troy Hearfield, on the 2 occasions he's been asked to run the ball down, has looked like he's had concrete in his boots. Not well at all. He's holding his stomach and side. Problems with a solar plexus muscle, I'd suggest. Jason Hoffman gets a chance.
Did start the game last week against Perth Glory, Jason Hoffman. He'll have a point to prove. There is Troy Hearfield. I wonder if the heat's also a factor. They're taxing on the players. Bridge taken out by Bugard. And he's been hurt in the process, Mark Bridge. He's still down behind play. No thought of putting the ball out though by the Central Coast. Here's Checkerley. Comes inside Hoffman. Swings in a near post delivery. Jedinak. Checkerley. It's going to be a throw. In the meantime, Bridge will get the chance to get some treatment. It was a crunching tackle by Bugard.
Well, he's got him twice now, Bugard. The last 2 times Bridge has received the ball after having a nightmare first half in that facet of the game. Nigel Bugard has left plenty there. He's decided enough's enough, and you like talking about old-fashioned tackles, Mike. That was a centre-half's tackle right out of the middle pages of the manual.
It was also an illegal tackle, I think. And, Mark Bridge might have a case. Is the ankle a problem? The right ankle, by the looks of things. We're told it's a strained stomach muscle. For Troy Hearfield, top of the class, Andy Harper.
It's a shame too. The AIS graduate out of Tamworth. Everything to play for. And his body's just let him down when he needed it most. He'll be back though.
Hutchinson throw, flicked on. And Mark Bridge back on the field, just running off that knock. Out comes Kovic, not getting a clean collect. Griffiths, mistake, turned it over. Jedinak though returns the favour. They're putting the pressure on the Mariners. Vidmar, chance here. Was Pontiac taken out behind play? The referee says he was.
But a good passage of play from Central Coast. Intuitive, responsive, fluent, positive. And they've got a free kick in a tremendous part of the field. Tom Pontiac linking up with Tony Vidmar. It's Vidmar initially pinning his ears back, and it was Durante who brought down Tom Pontiac right on the edge of the penalty area. This will be the best chance the Coast will have before half-time, you'd imagine.
We're into stoppage time, 2 extra minutes. Mariners camped over the free kick. Just outside the box, certainly within striking range. Aloisi! Off the post from John Aloisi. Clipped into the near post. And away eventually by the Jets. Maybe it's not destined to be Aloisi's night. Kwasnik. It's cleared Thompson's head. In it goes, Aloisi. Well, there you go. You can't keep a good man down. And John Aloisi has levelled it up in the major semi.
And
it's offside. Unbelievable. It's not his night. It's offside.
Well, just when we thought redemption was at hand, the goalpost denied, and then the assistant referee denies one of Australia's most celebrated internationals. Here's the ball slung in from the far post. Aloisi onside at the taking. The touch at the first post. Aloisi is level at the touch, and that should be 1-1 for the Coast. And we talk about the assistant referees who have a difficult job, but the advantage must always go to the attacking team. And it's a bad blue from the man with the flag on the far side.
And there is the half-time whistle from Matthew Breeze. What a half of football. One John Aloisi won't forget for a long, long time. He's missed a penalty, he's hit the post, and he's had a goal disallowed. Incredible. The goal from Adam Griffiths separates these two teams at half-time. It's the Jets 1 leading the Mariners 0. Well, a very, very tight call from the assistant referee has denied John Aloisi the equaliser for the Mariners right at the end of an enthralling first half of football here at the Energy Australia Stadium. As you can see, he's not happy. Aloisi eventually given a yellow card for dissent. Well, what a first half of football we've had here. These are the stats. 51% possession for Newcastle, just shading it over the Mariners, but the Mariners more time in the opposition half, probably at either end of that first half. 12 corners in the game, 2 offsides in the match, 15 fouls in the game, and just the 1 yellow card, as we mentioned, and that was to John Aloisi as he went down the tunnel at half-time. We talk about an eventful first half. Well, here are the highlights, and they've come thick and fast. The first after just 1 minute of play. Troy Herefield involved.
Joel Griffiths doing what he's done a lot this season, retrieving the ball deep in their opponent's half, bridge dipping the ball to the far post, and Troy Herefield with a shot on target. Perhaps that was the incident which aggravated a stomach concern, because Herefield was the man to be replaced late in the game. But so much, so good down the left-hand side of Newcastle's first half, and it was all evidenced in that first minute of play.
The early shot from the Jets. Joel Griffiths with a free kick. We've seen him score from there.
We've seen him score from this sort of angle, but not this sort of distance, and Vukovic tidied it up pretty easily, but a good chance for Newcastle. In the full-on Sony strike speed shows that 106 k's an hour off the boot, and that distance reflected in the lack of velocity by the time it got to Vukovic.
Well, that was the best of the early action for Newcastle. From then on, it was all Central Coast. What a clearance from Jade North.
Well, Jade North was brilliant in this instance. Sash Petrovski, I thought, did excellently well to get anything on this cross at all. But to direct the header to the far post off Adam Krosnick's cross was outstanding work from the Coast marksman. Kovic was beaten, but Jade North wasn't, and that's leadership of the highest order.
Well, we're used to seeing the name Griffiths on the score sheet for Newcastle. So often we see it's Adam Griffiths. What a header. Well, the Jets midfielder.
Mashalik receiving the lack of clearance from Central Coast, if I can put it that way. Once the ball swung wide, all it needs is good delivery to get a telling effort on goal. Well, James Holland delivers the good delivery, and Adam Griffiths with the peach of a finish at the near post. Here's the ball, cutting out all of Central Coast defence. They have to readjust at this point, and their readjustment isn't accurate enough, because Griffiths beats Jelinek on the first post, and it's 1-0 for the Newcastle Jets, and what a beautiful way to bring up that lead.
His third goal of the season, Adam Griffiths, 82 kilometres an hour off the head. That's pretty impressive. And the controversy, though, built and built. Penalty claim, high feet against North.
Well, I guess the first point on this, Jade North can, I guess, feel a little aggrieved. The degree of contact almost is a moot point, because a challenge like that in general play would be a free kick. Inside the penalty area shouldn't mean any different, but John Aloisi, the most famous left foot in recent Australian football history, has let his team down. You cannot believe you've seen that, but seen it we have at a packed-out Energy Australia Stadium.
And the Jets almost rubbed some salt into a very deep wound. Just a minute later, Adam Griffiths really should have doubled the advantage.
Well, it was a similar action. The ball this time from his twin brother, Joel Griffiths, and there was telepathy involved there, I think it's fair to say. Again, Central Coast failing to clear their lines effectively. With the crumbs, Newcastle nearly profited. This is a beautiful ball. What a run out of midfield. Good contact, bad direction, Adam Griffiths.
Good spell for the Jets. Middle stages of the half. Mark Bridge had been giving Nigel Bugard a torrid time for much of that first half of the game.
Well, real difficulty for both fullbacks for the Central Coast when they're isolated. If it's not Joel Griffiths down one side, it's Mark Bridge down the other. Nigel Bugard doing the best he can to cut off the line to goal, but can't manage it. Vukovic had to save.
They're not the minor premiers for nothing, Central Coast. They got themselves very much back into the contest in the latter stages of the first half. And that was a rare sight, a right foot shot from John Hutchinson.
He does score from this range. It's not unlike him to hit the target. He did hit the target, but Kovic, blinded by the sun and a bit of a swerve too, had to fend it off.
3 minutes later, Stewie Mushalik.
Doesn't shoot a lot, Stu Mashalik, but when he does, they're usually worth watching, and this is no exception. Nice tail, Vukovic beaten and panicking slightly as he tried and watched that ball go over his own crossbar.
Well, John Aloisi disappointed to miss the penalty. It's not been his evening, has it?
Well, off the post, this could have gone anywhere. Look at that. What a great shot. Fantastic television. Bad result for Central Coast, and things were just to get worse. We're still in injury time. It's Kwasnick to the far post. Doesn't quite make it. Aloisi, I think we'll see, is vindicated to be onside. It should be 1-1 to Central Coast. Here's the action here. The ball falls short of the near post from Kwasnick, and it's a touch there, and upon that touch, Level is onside, and Aloisi gets a yellow card for his remonstration. You can understand his frustration. What about a yellow card for the assistant referee?
Well, what a half of football John Aloisi had. These are the attack stats. 6 shots on goal from Newcastle, 8 to the Central Coast, who had 26 balls into the opposition area compared to Newcastle's 10. Newcastle, though, had more shots on target, although Danny Vukovic was the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. Well, what a crowd we've had here at Energy Australia Stadium. It's a full house, it's jam-packed, there's not a spare seat in the house, and haven't they got their money's worth so far? And most Jets fans will be thrilled to bits with this half-time score. Well, what an exciting first half it's been here in Newcastle. A controversial one as well. John Aloisi in the thick of it. A missed penalty, a shot which came back off the post, and a disallowed goal. A very tough call by the assistant referee. All to play for the Mariners. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. To the Energy Australia Stadium. F3 derby between the Jets and the Mariners. The first leg of the major semi-final. It caught fire from the first minute and it didn't let up. Controversy, excitement, a missed penalty from Aloisi, a free kick which struck the post. The only goal came from Adam Griffiths, much to the delight of the Newcastle Jets fans, but by no means are the Mariners out of this contest. A bright performance from the Central Coast. The defining moment perhaps came right at the end of the first half. John Aloisi thought he'd scored. You make up your own mind. Level is onside. Should have been a goal. Should have been an equaliser. We was robbed. That's what the Central Coast Mariners will be saying if they don't get something out of this match here at the Energy Australia Stadium. Well, it's the Newcastle Jets in front. Their coach, Gary Van Egmond, is talking with Brenton Speed.
Gary, we've just had a look at the replays. John Aloisi was onside for that goal. You'll be hoping the luck continues to desert Aloisi.
Oh, look, we've ridden our luck for more than one game. It was like we've ridden our luck for about 3 or 4, and the football gods have been smiling on us. And I suppose the one pleasing thing is that we can't come out and play as bad as that again. And it might have been the occasion a little bit. Maybe a couple of the boys are overawed by it a little bit. But we've had a good talk to them in there. We need to get that ball down on the deck and keep the ball, especially when we lose it, to get 4 or 5 passes in, but of quick succession rather than delaying and having too many touches on an individual basis. Sometimes you have to grind results out. If things aren't working well for you, you just have to grind the result out and show how mentally tough you are. Sorry?
You speak about that, and the goal that came after sustained Mariners pressure as well, that must have pleased you.
Yeah, it was, but look, we need to get better. We're under no illusions that we need to be able to keep the ball better, and for us to be a force in this final series, we have to be more effective in that last third. Defensively, we've scrambled quite well, but for us to do better and to win this game, we need to be able to play a lot more effectively.
Forced to substitute Troy Heathfield. No more substitutions coming shortly?
Not right at this moment, but we'll just react to how the game's going and we'll go from there.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, Gary Van Egmond sees it as it is. He calls it as it is. It's refreshing to see a coach with such honesty. Not happy with the first half performance from his team. Confirmation of that yellow card for John Aloisi, who's now walking the tightrope. 2 cards, of course, and you miss the next game. That could potentially be a grand final appearance. The Mariners get the ball rolling as the shadows lengthen here at the Energy Australia Stadium. We're talking about energy. Hasn't there been a lot of it inside this ground at 45 minutes of play?
Made enough to run a power station. Newcastle does make a lot of money out of coal and power, but tell you what, they could pipe this place at the moment and run the city's lights for a year. It's just been electric. Great value for the fans. Frustration for the fans. It's all part of the football matrix. And the home team with their nose in front with a dissatisfied coach, it should be said.
Here's Griffiths. Hoffman is outside of him. And it's a pretty ordinary cross. Jason Hoffman.
No, not the tonic that Gary Van Egmond or Mark Jones would be looking for. The first attack in the first half. He talked about keeping the ball and working it into areas where you can then mount some sort of attack. Well, they did 2/3 of that well, and Jason Hoffman's technique let him down in the final analysis. A very interesting 10 minutes coming up for the Central Coast. They will have felt very aggrieved in the dressing room at half-time. Laurie McKenna's job, Vidmar Aloisi, their job is to refocus their team. So many good things in the first half, yet they're still chasing the game. And this is where years of football experience really comes home for teams at half-time dressing room situations.
There is plenty of experience in that Central Coast 11. Championship experience as well. International experience, including on the bench, Alex Tobin, former Socceroos skipper on the coaching staff, Ian Ferguson and Laurie McKenna. Hutchinson getting the rev up from the Jets fans, flicked on. Jedinak. That's going to be a corner. With interaction between Tommy Pontiac and a few of the Jets fans. Always good to see. Hutchinson, the best of corners, cleared by Thompson. Bosnick goes for goal.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Just to pin your ears back early on. Get the first half out of the way, the disappointments. Get a shot on goal. There might have been another way or two to set the goal up better, but you cannot deny a young player looking to strike a blow for his team.
Just to give you an idea of how much the Hyundai A-League has grown. We'll stay with the action for a moment. Pontiac, mistake from Griffiths. Shot was on target. Last time these two teams met in the finals game here at Energy Australia Stadium, just 10,000 people turned up. As we said, there's not a spare seat in the house for this one 2 years later. Fantastic finals series in store.
A bigger crowd here. We're expecting, we haven't got confirmation, but a bigger crowd here than there was for Sydney's home game on Friday night. That's just going to fuel the fire of discussion about stadiums, getting crowds to grand finals, etc.
Throw. Again, Jedinak target. Here's Bridge. Seems to have shaken off that ankle problem. Holland continues his run, doesn't have a lot of support. James Holland, of course, a player who was born and bred on the Central Coast, trained with the Central Coast Mariners as well. Didn't win a lot of friends by signing with their arch rivals, the Newcastle Jets. What a meteoric rise it has been for James Holland. Good tackle from Vidmar.
Yeah, read that play really well, Tony Vidmar. Again, it was the twins from Newcastle. The twin turbo pairing from Newcastle. Adam Griffiths setting up the attack. Joel Griffiths playing a 1-2 thereafter. Tony Vidmar read that really well.
Holland's corner. Vukovic untested. Quick release from the keeper. Jedinak only has Aloisi in front of him. He has to stay onside. He's done it. But Thompson's quick enough to get there first. Gets a nudge in the back as well.
That was a really poor time to hit a bad pass from Miller Jedinak. Asked an enormous amount of John Aloisi, who not only gives a few years away to Matthew Thompson, but also 2 healthy legs at the moment, where to believe that Aloisi is still with that knee troubled. And Miller Jedinak, good opportunity for a counter-attack, came to nothing. Bit impetuous, Miller Jedinak there. His team needs a little more from him at the moment. He has been outstanding this season. But in these big games, your season's best players really need to find that form, and Jedinak is right in that company at the moment. He needs to burst out and take this game, have an impact, make things happen for the coast, as he's done all season.
Here he is on the ball. Charlotte can't get there. Thompson can. Look at the numbers now for Newcastle. Let's come off the heel of Joel Griffiths. A wasted opportunity that for the Jets. Elrich. Closed down well by Petrovski. Hardly seen Tarek Elrich cross the halfway line. It's a testament to the pressure that the Mariners are applying and continue to apply. Hutchinson's throw, won by Jedinak. It's going to be a corner. They don't deal with these long throws particularly well, Newcastle. In fact, they've struggled all evening with the aerial challenges in the box. The 9th corner of the game for the Central Coast. They are the stronger team in the air at that end of the park. Kwasnik's corner. He goes deep, too deep for Jedinak. Hutchinson will reel it in. Jedinak has space. He crosses it in. Wilkinson, and the overhead kick, ambitious, but the only real option for Sash Petrovski.
Jade North complaining about the high foot there. If it's good for the goose, he wants it to be good for the gander as well. Petrovski going for the spectacular overhead.
Well, if you're going to put your head there, and the other player's going for the scissors kick.
It is a vexed issue, though. Jade North does have a point. They are, technically speaking, high feet. But if a player scores from a situation like that, you'd hate to see the referee award against it because they're so spectacular. It's a really vexed issue, that one. Matthew Breeze dealt with that, I think, the best way he could. What a scene.
A sight for sore eyes.
And just imagine this place with a fair income up to the moment stadium.
I do believe the FFA Chief Executive Ben Buckley is among the fans as well. I'm sure he's getting his ear bent by Con Constantine and others. There is Con Constantine, the owner of the Newcastle Jets. A man who puts his money where his mouth is. Bridge with a knockdown. Away by Wilkinson. It's going to be difficult the next 10-15 minutes for these Mariners defenders. The sun right in their eyes. Here's Aloisi. He's done well. The switch is clever. Kicks out Hutchinson. Early ball. Comes off Elrich. And Hutchinson piggybacks Hoffman. Quick free kick from Elrich. Only Joel Griffiths is forward though. Was that late? The referee has seen it that way. Jason Hoffman. Challenge on Checkerley.
Unsurprisingly pleading innocence. You never see a player who doesn't. The substitute who came on for Troy Hearfield late in that first half. And he's got a case. Free kick at best. Matthew Breeze has been very, very patient. Perhaps that's a sign that patience is wearing out for the whistleblower.
Checkerley goes long. Good strong header this time from North. Bridge has done well. Holland. To shake off Jedinak, and does so. Caught by Kwasnik though. There's consistency, there'll be a card, and there is.
I think Matthew Breeze is handling this well. There are a number of free kicks in that first half which could easily have been yellow cards, but he's allowed the players to get into the flow of the game, but enough is enough. Hoffman has battled really well and got front position with a nice touch, and he was away. And Kwasnik with the free kick, it's a clear yellow card, and Matthew Breeze now, if the word isn't out to the players, it should be from this point on.
Holland, too casual. We heard what Gary Van Egmond said at half-time, but I don't imagine he's particularly happy with what he's seen in the 10 minutes since then. Very submissive Newcastle at the moment. A lot of energy as well about their play. Here's Jedinak. Sliding in was Elrich. It breaks for Hutchinson. Wilkinson. The Central Coast came up yesterday, even though it's only a 40-minute trip up the F3. Stayed in a hotel last night just to try and create the away game atmosphere, if you like, that you really need. A lot of coaches talk about as being a key reason why away teams have done so well this season. We got the train on the stadium as well yesterday, the Mariners. They also got their first look at the finals footballs, which are different from those being used during the regular season. So the preparation's been spot on for the Central Coast, but at the moment the result isn't. Although their performance probably deserves more. Still time. Checkerley. Was he obstructed? He's the obstructor now rather than the obstructee. Quickly taken free kick. Hoffman. Takes his time to fill up the space. I guess that counts as a shot from Jason Hoffman.
Well, eventually, but he went via Curry to get there.
Turns 18 tomorrow, Jason Hoffman. They do have one eye on the future, don't they, Newcastle? You look at their last three signings. Ben Kantarowski, who's just turned 16. James Holland, who's 18. The Korean Song Jin-hyung, whose clearance didn't come through for this game, is 20. He's already looking towards next season. Gary Van Egmond. There's a lot of talk, of course, that Ruben Zadkovic, the Sydney FC midfielder, will end up here as well. Another young player. If they get it right, they could have a team for the next 3 or 4 years, Newcastle Jets. And a very competitive one as well. Hutchinson runs it down. Comes inside Elrich. Twice. Where's the help for John Hutchinson? There's none. Vidmar telegraphs the pass, intercepted by Hoffman. Joel Griffiths. Bridge makes a run through the middle. Griffiths. Sliding in was Bugard. Great tackle, Nigel Bugard. Had to time it perfectly and did. Michalek has it back for the Jets. Chested down by Bridge. Now Pondelyak. Slides it through, looking for Aloisi. Here's Bridge. Joel Griffiths just down on his haunches, recovering. Hoffman. Shown the line by Elvin Checkerley. Here's Holland. Looking for Elrich. Well, a few of these players already out on their feet. It's a warm evening. We've already said that. It's been a very fast pace, particularly in the first half. And some of them are feeling the pinch. That's a poor ball from Holland. Bosnick.
I don't think either coach would be ecstatic with the way their team's going at the moment. For the neutrals and for the fans, it's very exciting, but no one really has control over the flow of possession. And this 22,960 was quite some way off capacity, which is interesting, to say the least, given all the pre-talk.
Where's the spare seat?
Pre-match talk, I can't see any.
They're in the aisles as well.
Capacity of 26,000, no tickets left, you do the maths.
There is some refurbishment work going on in one corner, but gee whiz, interesting.
At any rate, the nearly 23,000 who are here have been treated. The coaches are doing it very tough at the moment. No one has control of this football match, and there's plenty of experience on both teams to have both benches expect better. So much at stake. Van Egmond talked about the occasion perhaps getting the better of some of his players. Just a bit helter-skelter at the moment.
Petrovski. That's good covering from Adam Griffiths. Here's Holland in space as Hoffman to his right. Joel Griffiths through the middle. Griffiths tries to get away from Vidmar and did get the shot on target, although it was from a cute angle in the end. Good work from Vidmar. Forced his man away from the goal.
Not just any man, the man.
The main man.
Bugard and Vidmar have done very well in the last gasp. Last two attacks for Newcastle, very near things.
Here's Holland. Adam Griffiths goes on a run. Griffiths tried to return it to Holland. He looks very, very tired at the moment, Joel Griffiths. Kwasnick. Oh, Wesley almost got on the end of it. What an important interception from North. He's been a standout for Newcastle.
He's certainly been in the thick of the action. Conceded the penalty that Aloisi missed, been brilliant otherwise. Kwasnick had Hutchison looming on the left in space again. For the umpteenth time in this half, Central Coast with the whole field to aim at. Their decision-making has let them down.
Hoffman. Change imminent. Let's see Adam Deputso warming up on the sideline.
Tony Vidmar's going to be spoken to here. There's plenty of verbal behind play. He and Joel Griffiths going toe-to-toe in the verbal stakes, and both players now have been called out by Matthew Breeze. Of course, teammates from the famous qualification series, and here we go. Hey, nothing lost. Certainly not love when the stakes are this high. You're just a young buck, Joel. You wait your turn, says Vidmar T.
Norwich with a throw. Headed on by Joel Griffiths. Lumped up the field by Bugard. Nudge from Duranto. It's the other way around. Petrovski disbelieving. Left short by North. Well, I posed the question. We talked about the Socceroos representation in this Newcastle side. 7 of their players have been into camp for the last 3 weeks. They've gone down to Sydney. They've spent a couple of days. They've had a session. They've had a couple of intra-club games. Is that taking a toll? Has that taken a toll? And will it be an important factor in the last half an hour or so of this match?
No, I don't think so. I think what we're seeing from Newcastle is pretty much what we've seen most of the season. Flashes of brilliance, sections of good play, and a frustrated coach who wants more from his team. But that would be also to deny Central Coast. They've had their moments in this half and defended well otherwise. It's both teams looking for that spark, and neither set of players has been able to provide it really.
deep one, hanging in the air. Flag up, bridge offside.
And I reckon from the Central Coast viewpoint, they keep knocking away. They just need to improve their decision-making in the middle and final third. They get a lot of mileage out of it. Another offside. Mark Briggs looks level there as well.
Maybe the assistant referee is looking at the sun as well. We should possibly raise that scenario. It'll be hard for you to see across the line. Holland looks played his team into trouble. He gets the lucky break.
There's a lot of players with their hands on their hips at the moment.
Well, James Holland has actually got into a bit of trouble from his coach this week, who learnt something he didn't know, and that's that Holland does extra training sessions on his own near the family home at Budgeroy on the Central Coast. Gary Van Egmond had to put a stop to it, saying you might have the youthful enthusiasm, but you've got to look after your body. You can't push it too hard. Has he got any petrol left in the tank? Who has? Charlotte does.
Well, the game's in a hole though, Mike. The both sets of players very tired. And emotionally, these occasions are draining. But physically today, we're enjoying a sea breeze, which has certainly taken the edge off the heat. Very difficult conditions for the players, obviously. And the passing has been poor in the last few moments.
Charlotte. The diagonal run was a decent one from Hoffman.
Can't be long now before Laurie McKenna looks to his left and sees what ammunition he's got in the substitutes.
Petrovsky wriggle free.
Going to be unsurprising to hear this. Gumprecht, who's been a real warhorse. I really fancy a Matt Simon from this point. Going to surprise you to hear that, I know. But Andre Gumprecht, Greg Owens, another Novocastrian returning home and returning from injury as well. Wonderfully talented player. Plenty on the bench for McKenna. I think the one player who can really disturb the dynamics of this match is Matthew Simon. He's done it before for the Coast. He's just missing a goal next to his name as an A-League footballer. Today could be the day.
Well, you don't win finals games without going through the pain barrier. That's something that's never changed. And these players are finding that out right now. Those that didn't already know, of course. Petrovsky, flag up. Offside. Petrovsky's won championships. Shekely's won championships. Pontiac's won championships.
Well, there's Petrovsky just in that offside position, well adjudicated. Nathan Gibson on the near touchline from the mid-north coast of New South Wales. There's Matty Simon. He's just a bundle of energy. Raw is the best descriptor. And once he refines that rawness, he'll be a fabulous player. He's got so much to offer even now, even in this environment and on this stage.
Hoffman. Here's Elrich. Here's Charlotte. He's lasted the distance pretty well, Junior Charlotte. Griffiths header, the two Griffiths brothers got it mixed up. Not often you see that. Their wires crossed. Almost 70 minutes gone. John Aloisi is still on the field. Lasted a bit longer than he had intended. And Matty Thompson has taken out Jedinak off the ball. Yellow card number 4.
Interesting, that's the first time Matthew Breeze has decided to stop the game when the attacking team had flow of possession. And that's an interesting one. Central Coast, the left side was opening up nicely for them. Of course, that has been plugged now. The ball there breaking, and one more pass, and down the left flank, the Mariners were away. Nevertheless, they get the free kick. Matthew Thompson now on that yellow card precipice.
Here's Pontiac. Thompson just held his ground. They've been compact, they've been solid. This Newcastle back line. Andre Gumprecht, 20 minutes to make an impression. Crowd favourite, the Mariners fans. And we believe it's going to be John Hutchinson who gets the early mark, but he's still out there to make a contribution for the moment. Petrovski goes deep. Thompson almost had his pocket picked by Adam Kwasnik, coming off that line.
A very cool play from Matthew Thompson. John Hutchison not long for this game. Andre Gumprecht, well, partly it's about decision making out of midfield for both teams, but specifically for the Central Coast. This guy, Gumprecht, has plenty of experience and quality, but also the drive he should give out of midfield to link up with Petrovski and Aloisi to make that extra man will help them in the counter-attack.
Well, this is Andre Gumprecht's 15th appearance of the season, and there was some speculation that he had a clause in his contract which said that if he plays 15 games, he gets a new one. That was written out of his contract at the start of this season. Laurie McKenna keen to end that speculation, i.e. Andre Gumprecht is treated the same as anyone else. Pondeliak. Hoffman. Bridge. Better retention of the ball by Newcastle. And Melvin Checkley unceremonious that challenge.
Well, Checkley had done everything right. He just kept that right wing tucked in. He might have got away with that one because Hoffman had given that up. His touch let him down, but he's won the free kick.
Playoff from Aloisi. Peels off, so too does Petrovski. Danger here for Newcastle. Petrovski looking for Aloisi. Another splendid defensive tackle. This one from Durante. That's what they've done well tonight, Newcastle.
Well, in the second instance, it was Durante. Brilliant on the edge of the 6-yard box. But firstly, it was Jade North, and you shouldn't underestimate the ground that North made up to pressurise the cross from Petrovski. And Durante there, right on the spot to clear the danger ultimately. Better signs for the Coast, a far more effective counter-attack.
Another long throw. Away by North. The up and under from Kwasnik. Out comes Kovic. Always favoured to win the ball. A quick release from the keeper. Double the number of balls into the opposition penalty area at Central Coast, but no goal to show for it. He's made one change, Laurie McKenna, to try and find the spark. He's about to make another. Man, you've been lauding Matt Simon, who's about to enter the game. We're told that Petrovski will be the player who makes way. The Jets also ready to go to the bench, and it's Noel Spencer, possibly for Stewie Mushalik. So both coaches now well aware that fatigue is a factor. That will affect decision-making in the last 15 minutes or so. It's on a knife edge, this major semi-final. Gumprecht. Adam Kwasnik has swapped sides after that substitution. It's been quiet tonight, Adam Kwasnik. There's Noel Spencer, possibly a bit unlucky to be dropped. The former Mariners captain, of course. 2 seasons at the Blue Tongue Stadium.
Adam Griffiths has been struggling as well. He's been on his haunches a couple of times, so it mightn't be Mushalik. Might be a straight injury swap for Adam Griffiths. We'll wait and see, of course.
Down the line goes Kwasnik. It's a straight foot race. Elrich recovers well. Hasn't his game changed, Tarek Arich, for the better as well? He's found a home as a right fullback, and he is growing in stature massively. There's that change, and it will be Mushalik.
It will be Mushalik, so Adam Griffiths is going to have to battle on. And that's a good 75 minutes for Stu Mushalik. He'll get a big round of applause from the home gallery. The local product, wonderful talent in prospect. A great moment for Noel Spencer. And I find this a fascinating one. Petrovski has made way for Matt Simon on more than one occasion, but when you consider the status of John Aloisi's left knee, the problematic nature of that, this is a big call from Laurie McKenna. Petrovski's been industrious. A couple of his final options have let him down, but the effort has been there and the constant threat has been there.
Fine game, Sash Petrovski.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments, but now with the Simon Aloisi partnership, we have that contrast that has so much potential to it for Central Coast.
Well, we saw Matt Simon pick up a hip injury last week. He's done well to recover from that.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance is 22,960. Football Federation of Australia would like to thank you for attending tonight's match.
Durante flicked on by Adam Griffiths. Just didn't sit for Holland. Goes outside, Checkley whips it across the goal. Well saved, well taken, well collected by Vukovic. Difficult ball for the keeper. Gumprecht. Now Bugard. Gumprecht. Almost flicked that over Durante. Ball up the park from Thompson and somehow found its way through to Joel Griffiths. Hoffman makes a run through the middle. Comes off Vidmar. Still with Joel Griffiths. He's cleared the first man. It was Holland making that run into the 6-yard box. Pondliak. Wonderful switch from Tommy Pondliak. But he's isolated Kosnik. Early ball in. Aloisi's the target. Well, that's the sort of service he's been waiting for, John Aloisi.
Well, Pondliak's gone down with cramp after launching that 50-metre switch of play. Aloisi now.
These are two very tired teams, aren't they?
Just be careful of that left knee, Jay. It's worth a lot of money. Good challenge, Noel Spencer. He can get up well, John Aloisi. It's a strange thing about Aloisi. He's not the fastest player across the ground, but he has a tremendous vertical leap. And the sports scientists will tell you the vertical leap is an indicator for speed across the ground. Well, Aloisi tends to fly in the face of that scientific logic. In part, at least. It's a wonderful jump from a standing start.
Well, there's 22,500 people squeezed into this ground and not one person is leaving early. Out of Pickett. Jets still that goal from Adam Griffiths providing the difference. The Mariners continue to ask some questions. Spencer drives it into the corner. Hoffman's there. It's a helping hand from Joel Griffiths. Dummy from Holland. Hoffman didn't time the run at all. He He was looking across the line as well. And it comes with experience.
That was a tough one. Very difficult for him to stop his run there. There would have been little chance to retrieve the ball if he had. He had gone offside. It was probably the first time that we've seen from the Jets players any sort of combination around the penalty area. It's worked so well for them this season. There's Tony Vidmar making way for Andrew Clark. The last card to be played by Laurie McKenna.
I reckon Tony Vidmar will be in that ice bath for about 2 hours after this game.
He's done well for his team tonight.
Fantastic.
Vidmar. Great experience.
The oldest player, as we said, in the A-League, 37 years of age, Tony Vidmar. And he's almost lasted the distance. Well done. Here's Clark, maybe the fittest player at the club. He is the strength and conditioning coach. He should be. Bridge has done well to get away from Clark. Oh, that's a tired pass from Mark Bridge. Or better options.
Well, that is the subtext to this game this afternoon. Certainly the second half. Both teams with their opponents on the canvas have let them off the hook. Poor passes.
Here's Simon. Good touch from Aloisi. Gumprecht. Chips it in, looking for Aloisi. Simon! That would have been the moment to break his drought. Matty Simon, fierce volley. Kovic, perfectly placed. Late from Clark. He's only been on the park a couple of minutes and gets a ticket for his troubles.
Well, patience shown for most of the players, not for Andrew Clark, the yellow card. And Matthew Simon, good composure, very good technique. So he's learnt from his earlier misses in the season, but unfortunately straight into the breadbasket of Ante Kovic. Just the direction let him down, but he held his nerve nicely. Could have been the telling moment for the Coast, not to be. They plug away.
Spencer. Holland. Layoff from Griffiths. James Holland goes to ground. A challenge came from Gumprecht. That is a penalty. No doubt from Matthew Breeze. No doubt at all.
Well, they've ridden their luck, Newcastle. Gary Van Egmond said so at half-time. Gumprecht launching in, and there's a clear penalty. Perhaps a little theatrical from James Holland, but you cannot deny the contact that was made. Daddy Vukovic now has to stare down this season's Golden Boot Joel Griffiths to keep his team in the first leg of the major semi.
Listen to the noise here at Energy Australia. It's rolled gold from Joel. Griffiths keeps his nerves. Newcastle double their lead.
It's the tale of two penalties. One squandered and one nailed. And is that another nail in the coffin of Central Coast in the push for a grand final berth? This is all composure, and that is a beautiful penalty. And who else but Joel Griffiths to give a 2-goal buffer to the home team?
Well, who says 13's an unlucky number? Goal number 13 for Joel Griffiths. A massive goal for the Jets.
Well, the Central Coast now staring down the barrel of having to win 3-0 at home next week. Are there 3 goals in this team?
This hasn't gone their way, has it? The Mariners. Kosnik. still playing with heart. Down goes Alot. No penalty at the other end. He's not going to complain too much. He's already on the card. Griffiths. Well, he was taken out. Gilprecht can't dwell on his misfortune. Good ball from Spencer, who's then taken out by Simon. Advantage played by the referee, but he's got the number. There's another crunching tackle from Checkley.
Well, Alvin Checkley's going to get away with it, but Matthew Simon isn't. Well, maybe he will. Just a talking to from Matthew Breeze. Well done, the referee. Checkley's very fortunate. Sitting on a yellow card. Pardon me, no, he's not. But he should be after that.
He's docked him in. Here's Elrich. Spencer. He's settled it down, Noel Spencer. He's coming off the bench.
Of course, the thing for the Central Coast, project 3 goals next week. If they can get one here, the away goal would be vital, of course, which is the beauty of these home and away semi-finals situations. They must not go 3 goals down, but keep pushing for the away goal to balance the ledger somewhat. They've been good value for a goal too, the Central Coast. Be under no illusion, there are not 2 goals separating this football team anywhere else except on the scoreboard.
Vukovic. Here's Checkley. He'll launch it. Looking for Alot. The flick on from Alot. Again, the flag is up. He's sick of the sight of it, John Alot. The linesman's flag. Joel Griffiths, goal number 13. The penalty, sending the keeper the wrong way. 112 k's off the boot, the Sony strike speed. And sheer delight from the number 9. He knows what that goal could mean. There'll be a couple of minutes added to the end of this contest. He continues his disagreement with the match official.
Well, he wanted the play to continue there, Alot. I reckon he's got a fair claim for it too. Again, Newcastle have been able to stop play. It's happened for the Central Coast too, we should say. But Alot, a good chance to round that ball up in the danger area.
Bridge. Here's Gilprecht. Yedinak. Hoping against hope. Never a penalty. Well, he's found a second win, hasn't he, Joel Griffiths? That usually happens when you score. Checkley asking the obvious question, where's the card? As is Laurie McKenna. The city of Newcastle has never won a championship. That goes for all the incarnations in the old NSL.
A minimum of 2 minutes of time added on.
A city with a proud football tradition, but one without success. And now they're just 90 minutes away from a grand final berth. They've given themselves a very solid foundation. They won't, though, want to concede a goal in the last 90 seconds of this game. Yedinak. Kwasnik, maybe the last throw of the dice from the Mariners. Kwasnik's ball. It's come off Elrich. Corner for the Central Coast.
Well, there's still time for this tie to turn. The Central Coast out on their feet, chasing 2 goals, but 1 goal here will ignite the situation for next week.
Kwasnik goes deep. He's cleared everyone. And at the critical moment, Adam Kwasnik couldn't have chose a worse moment to deliver a poor corner.
Well, it's certainly a case of what might have been for the Central Coast in this first leg semi-final. Adam Dapuzzo is going to be one of those time-killing substitutions that coaches opt for in these stages of matches.
John Aloisi. He's got to be careful. He can't lose his composure. He's too important to the Central Coast. Well, what a night for the Jets. Newcastle have done the job over their arch rivals. A goal in each half from Griffiths brothers, Adam and Joel, and the Jets have given themselves a platform. Full time in the first leg of the major semi. It's Newcastle 2, Central Coast 0. Jade North was a colossus for the Jets. Their defensive work was outstanding. But for the Mariners, it was the one that got away. They'll be wondering how on earth this happened. But it was the goals which made the difference, as they always do. The first from Adam Griffiths, a fine header from a James Holland cross.
Yeah, the Twin Towers of Newcastle delivered in the first leg semi-final. Adam Griffiths returning from suspension off the James Holland cross, and Joel Griffiths, as he's done more frequently this season than any other player, finding the back of the net. A 2-goal buffer for the Jets, not a 2-goal difference between the teams, but the advantage fairly and squarely with Newcastle.
Well, one of those goal scorers, Adam Griffiths, is with Brenton Speed.
And 2-0 up, a very handy lead as you look to make the grand final.
Yeah, it's great. It's been a great occasion for us, and we got away with a 2-0 win.
Great night for Newcastle, terrific crowd here tonight, and a great night for the Griffiths again.
Yeah, again, and they're loving it, the crowd, so it's a good performance by the whole team, and we look forward to the next one.
And 2 weeks on the sideline, but you came back tonight and got that header flush.
Yeah, it was a nice one. Should have got another one, but I'll take one, and we'll go into the next game with a 2-0 win.
We'll enjoy the fortnight's break away with the Socceroos as well. Good luck with that.
Thanks, mate.
Well, the celebrations long and loud here at the Energy Australia Stadium. A famous victory for the Newcastle Jets. These are the stats from a fantastic 90 minutes of football. Possession in favour of the home team, but it was time and opposition half which went to the Mariners. Tells the story of their performance. They had more corners in the game as well. Just 7 offsides in the game, 33 fouls, 6 yellow cards in the end, as Matthew Breeze had to clamp down on some frustration in that second half. The attack stats, the Mariners with more shots on goal, more balls into the penalty area as well, but it was the Jets with the shots on target. That's what counts. 4 saves apiece made by Danny Vukovic and Ante Kovic. Well, the Jets have taken off. Their destination is the grand final, and they're halfway there. The brothers in arms have done the jobs for Newcastle Jets. What a fantastic major semi-final we've seen here tonight. From me, Mike Cockerell, Andy Harper, Brenton Speed and the team, it's goodbye for now.